Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my younger sister money to maintain her lavish lifestyle after many years of hard work causing a fallout with my family? Okay, I'll try to keep this as short as I can, but I need to vent a little because I feel like my entire family is mad at me, and I don't know if I'm in the wrong here. I, 34 female, have worked my butt off for over a decade to get where I am today. I came from a pretty average family. Growing up, we weren't poor, but we weren't well off either. I had to bust my butt through school, take extra shifts, save every penny while others were out partying and buying things I couldn't even dream of affording. Now, after years of grinding, I finally own my own home, have a decent savings, and I'm in a good place financially. It wasn't easy, and I'm proud of myself for getting here. Then there's my younger sister, Sarah, 29 female. Sarah's always been different. I love her, but she's never been great with money or responsibilities in general. She's had a history of overspending and not really caring about the consequences. While I was working multiple jobs and going back to school, she was out buying designer bags, going on trips, eating out at fancy restaurants, all the things I had to forgo. Here's the kicker though, our parents have always cuddled her. Even now at 29, they're still helping her out financially. They've paid off her rent a few times, they cover some of her bills, and they even bailed her out when she maxed out her credit cards more than once. She's basically been able to live this luxurious life without putting in the work. Well, recently Sarah hit a rough patch. Surprise, surprise. She called me in a panic because she couldn't keep up with her expenses and asked if I could lend her some money. At first I felt bad and thought, okay, maybe I can help her out this one time. But then I realized she wasn't asking for money to pay rent or cover an emergency. She wanted me to help her maintain her lifestyle. She straight up said she didn't want to sell her designer stuff or downgrade her apartment because she deserves nice things. I told her no. I said that while I love her, I'm not going to throw money at her so she can keep living this way. I suggested she start making smarter financial decisions, like cutting back on luxuries, maybe selling some of her more expensive things, and living within her means. Well, she didn't take it well. She got super mad and accused me of being selfish and forgetting where I came from. She went on about how I'm in a good place now, so I should help her because that's what family does. Now she's gone crying to our parents, and of course they've taken her side. They called me saying I'm being stingy and that money is just money, and that family is more important. They've helped her as much as they can, and now they think it's my turn to step up. I tried to explain that it's not about me hoarding my money, but about the fact that she's living irresponsibly, and I don't want to enable that behavior. They didn't care, and now the whole family's upset with me. I've even gotten calls from aunts and uncles telling me I'm wrong for not helping her out. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I worked so hard for what I have, and it doesn't feel fair that I'm expected to bail her out so she can keep living this ridiculous lifestyle. I love her, but I just don't think it's right to reward bad behavior, even if she is my sister. So, am I the a-hole for not giving her the money and causing this massive fallout with my family? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. If your parents truly believe that money is just money, then they should be happy to sell some of their investments or other assets, or even delay vacation or retirement plans, to continue to fund a lifestyle that they've raised Sarah to expect. And anyone that calls you, all the uncles and aunts, tell them since they are butting into this business, then they should also help out. So your sister can keep spending money on designer jewelry. Watch the conversation change real quick. Thank you so much for offering to help support Sarah's lifestyle. How much can I put you down for contributing? I know she's been eyeing a new handbag and some nice jewelry, so I know she's going to need a lot. Is $10,000 starting out good, or should I put you down for more, do you think? If Sarah wants to be a trad wife or a stay-at-home girlfriend, she needs to start with a rich partner. Seems she skipped that step. Not a-hole. Not a-hole. You've worked hard for what you have and deserve to keep it. It's like the parable of grasshopper and the ant. If your parents want to bail her out, they can get a second mortgage. That way, your sister won't need to sell any of her nice stuff or move to a cheaper place. Because let's be honest here, if you end up needing help from your parents, there's nothing left for you. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after what she did to my fiancé? So my 28 female sister Ella, 31 female, is getting married in 2 weeks. We've always been close, even though we have our differences. I've always been more of a laid-back, introverted person, while Ella's the life of the party and loves being the center of attention. It never bothered me much, until now. I've been engaged to my fiancé Mark, 29 male, for about a year. He's wonderful, kind, supportive, and just an all-around great guy. My family has always liked him, or so I thought. But about a month ago, something happened that made me question everything. Ella asked Mark to meet her for coffee one day, saying she needed to help picking out a wedding gift for me. I didn't think much of it at the time, but when Mark came home, he was really quiet. After some coaxing, he finally told me what happened. Apparently, Ella spent the entire time trying to convince him that I wasn't right for him. She told him I was too boring, that I wasn't ambitious enough, that he could do better. She even went so far as to suggest that he should call off the engagement and see other people. Mark was completely blindsided and upset. He said he defended me, but it was clear that Ella was relentless. I was furious when I found out. I confronted Ella and she didn't even deny it. She said she was just looking out for Mark and that she wants the best for him. When I asked her why she thought it was her place to interfere in our relationship, she just shrugged and said she was being honest. I told her that what she did was completely out of line and hurtful, not just to me, but to Mark as well. She didn't apologize. Instead, she doubled down, saying that if I was confident in my relationship, I wouldn't be so upset. I ended up leaving her house in tears. Since then, I've barely spoken to her. My parents found out about the situation, and while they agree that what Ella did was wrong, they're begging me to still attend the wedding. They think that missing it would cause a huge rift in the family, and that I should just let it go for the sake of peace. But I don't know if I can. Every time I think about what she did, it makes my blood boil. I feel betrayed and hurt. I don't know if I can just pretend everything is fine for her big day. Mark supports whatever decision I make, but I can tell he's hurt by this too. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after what she did to my fiancé? Not the a-hole. Tell your parents you're staying home for the sake of peace. Your peace. Or tell them that if you go, you will object to the wedding, as it's clear that Ella has feelings for Mark and the wedding is a sham. Not the a-hole. She might be getting married to someone else, but she clearly has feelings for Mark. Right. OP's sister is marrying a man she doesn't love. OP should look out for this guy and let him know what his fiancé tried to do and why. OP's sister would understand, right? I would definitely have coffee with him and let him know he can do better. Not the a-hole. Narcissists, cheaters, basically generally crappy people, all bank on the fact that your reaction to their toxic behavior will be viewed as an overreaction, and they try to pin a blame on you. This is especially true in family dynamics, with this ridiculous belief that somehow being related by blood gives someone a free pass to crap all over you. If she ever is truly repent, then maybe there would be room for grace and forgiveness. But until then, I would consider her dead to you. Parents think OP not attending wedding could cause a rift in the family. No, Ella caused the rift by meeting Mark and trying to ruin OP's relationship. The blame is on Ella, not OP. You were right. OP will get the blame for her reaction. No one will be concentrating on Ella's behavior that started this whole issue. They always try to blame the reaction to awful behavior instead of the behavior itself. It's so messed up. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to move my wedding date after my brother said he can't make it? So I, 28 female, am getting married in 2 months. My fiancé, 29 male, and I have been planning this wedding for over a year. We picked the venue, sent out save the dates last year, and everyone has known about the date for ages. Like we're all in, the venue is booked, caterers, flowers, photographer. Basically everything is set, and deposits have been paid. At this point, we're just counting down the days, excited to get married and celebrate with everyone. Enter my younger brother, 25 male. He just got into this super competitive internship program that he's been wanting for a while, and he is over the moon about it. I'm genuinely happy for him because I know this is a big deal for his career. The problem is, he found out the start date is the same week as my wedding, and he told me he can't come anymore. Obviously, I was disappointed, but I assumed he'd be a little bummed too and we'd move on. Instead, he asked me if I'd consider changing the wedding date. At first, I thought he was joking, but nope, dead serious. He's all, "This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I really don't want to miss your wedding, but I can't be in two places at once." I told him there's literally no way I'm changing the date. We're 2 months out, everything is booked, invites have been sent, guests have RSVP'd, and people have already planned time off and booked hotels. Not to mention, moving a wedding isn't as simple as just picking another day, especially at this point. There's a whole cascade of other stuff I'd have to move, and that's if the venue even has another open date anytime soon. He got annoyed and basically said, "So you care more about a party than your brother's future?" Which really pissed me off. Like, come on, it's not like I didn't give everyone, including him, a huge heads up about this date. He's known for over a year. I get that the internship is important, but it's not like he couldn't have communicated with them and tried to work something out, right? Now, my mom is all over me about it, saying that I'll regret not having him there, and that I'm being selfish by not even considering changing the date. She's implying that family is more important than one day, but I feel like this is one day that's actually about me and my fiancé, and I don't think it's fair to be expected to turn my life upside down to accommodate his work. My dad is staying out of it, classic, but I can tell he thinks I'm being a bit unreasonable too. Fiancé is backing me up, but I can tell he feels weird about the whole thing. He's a big family guy and doesn't want any drama, but he also knows how much we've already put into this wedding. I don't want to sound like I don't care about my brother because I do. I love him, and I hate that he won't be there. But at the same time, I don't think it's reasonable to ask someone to change their wedding date this close. It's not like we're talking about a birthday party or something. This is an entire wedding. So yeah, am I the a-hole for refusing to change the date and basically telling him if he can't come, that's on him? Or should I be more flexible here? Now for the top comments. Your brother and your family's opinions are absurd. Not a-hole. Why is this kid so delusional? Did he often expect things to be moved around for him? Did he often get extensions on things? Is he the golden child? Mom is backing him and dad is staying out of it. If they think OP's wedding doesn't get priority in their own damn life, it shows who's probably been getting preferential treatment. Yep, son versus daughter. Mom backing the son because family? Reeks of a golden child scapegoat dynamic. Dad not wanting to rock the boat is just an enabler. You can't move mountains for him. You can't screw over everyone else who saved the date. There's no argument here. The date is the date. Now, I get that he doesn't want to make waves, but my sister's wedding seems like an easy ask. Is it on a weekday? Why can't he do both? A lot of times travel/hotels/time off can't be rescheduled. Everyone else planned accordingly. They shouldn't all be screwed over for one person. Not a-hole. He's 25 but acting like he's 13. The fact that your mother, who should know better, is on you about it combined with his attitude tells me he's the golden child. Tell mom if she really cared about family, she would liquidate her savings to rebook the venue, the vendors, and the travel and accommodations of all the guests to make sure your brother can come, along with apology letters to all those who took vacation days for nothing. Last story. Would I be the a-hole if I tell my friend her bridesmaids won't be throwing her an extensive bachelorette party if we aren't invited to the wedding? So I, 27 female, am friends with Jane, 28 female. Jane and her fiancé Brad, 29 male, recently got engaged. Jane is one of my best friends and we have known each other since college. When talking about our future weddings, Jane has always expressed that she wants me and a handful of our closest friends to be her bridesmaids and to have a destination wedding. When I saw Jane and Brad the day they got engaged, one of the first things Jane said to me was how excited she was for me and our other friend to be her bridesmaids. This was about a month ago. However, now that Jane and Brad have started looking at wedding planning, they have decided to have a tiny destination wedding in Colorado and only immediate family will be invited, to save money. They also plan on having a casual party for all of the rest of their family and friends after. But there will be no ceremony or sit-down dinner and will be very clearly not a second wedding. Even though I was disappointed and hurt to hear that I would not be invited to the actual wedding, I understand that it is their right to have whatever kind of wedding they want. And if it is not important to her that her best friends be there, that's her choice. But what irked me is that Jane still expects a bridal shower, a long weekend trip to an expensive destination for a bachelorette party, and mentioned a registry for wedding gifts. I find it a bit ridiculous that she still expects to have these things thrown by, and presumably paid for, by people that aren't even invited to the actual wedding. She still insists on calling us her bridesmaids, but since we will not be present at the wedding and will have no special designation at the party, I don't see how we actually are. Our friends are a bit split on what to do about this. Some want to confront her about this, some think that would be an a-hole move. So would I be the a-hole for telling Jane that if she's not having a traditional wedding, she can't expect traditional wedding benefits? Edited to add, I think a few people are misunderstanding my point here. I'm not saying I don't want to celebrate her at all, or that she shouldn't get anything outside of her wedding. What's bothering me is her stated expectation of a big shower and bachelorette trip. She explicitly said she wants to go to Scottsdale. We are in Tennessee, so this requires a flight. Without an invitation to the wedding, she could throw any kind of backyard, courthouse, big, small, whatever wedding, and I would be happy to do all of the above, as long as I was actually invited. Not a-hole. You aren't bridesmaids. You are friends of the bride. That being said, however, if she specifically mentions the reason for the small ceremonies to save money, then it seems to me that she does want the big wedding you all talked about, but they can't afford it. She is probably really disappointed she can't have the wedding of her dreams, and now she's even more disappointed she won't have her dream bachelorette party either. Why can't you throw her a bridal party just because you love her and want her to have a bridal party? Totally understand your point. They did say the reason is to save money. However, she and her fiancé both have great jobs. He drives an expensive car. They have a designer dog. They recently bought a home for about $400K. And she is constantly buying expensive clothes. Also, Brad's family is rich. And she told me his parents offered to pay for at least part of the wedding. So they are choosing this style of wedding because that's what they want to do. Not that they can't afford to have a slightly larger wedding. There is also a lot of background, but the short version is that a few years ago, Brad had a medical emergency when Jane and I lived together, and I and her other friends went above and beyond for them during this time, which I was more than happy to do because I love them both. But I think that is contributing to this feeling a bit more like a slap in the face than if it was any other friend/couple. I do still want to celebrate her and their upcoming marriage. My feelings are stemming from the expectation of an extensive bachelorette trip without an inclusion in the actual wedding. Not a-hole. Bridesmaids who aren't invited to the wedding aren't bridesmaids. Not even guests. Apparently, they're just ATMs. And party planners. They should plan a destination weekend party for the bride, then not invite her. It's the bride's favorite type of event after all.